I've got breaking news tonight. The FBI has raided the home, office, and hotel room of President Trump's longtime personal attorney, Michael Cohen. And the president, as you can imagine, is not happy about it.
So I just heard that they broke into the office of one of my personal attorneys, good man, and it's a disgraceful situation. It's a total witch hunt. I've been saying it for a long time.
The raid reportedly linked to the Stormy Daniels fiasco that won't go away. And now Cohen is said to be under federal investigation for possible bank fraud, wire fraud, and campaign finance violations. With me now, senior editor at The Federalist and Fox News contributor, Mollie Hemingway. We matched tonight. That is glorious. Mollie, welcome to the show.
Great to be here with you.
The president understandably upset. What is going on here?
Well, there are so many things that are going on. And the one thing that we do know is that these offices were raided, that and that means that the people who got the search warrant had to show probable cause, that they really think that there's some wrongdoing here. But we don't actually know what the wrongdoing is. We also could have a pretty good idea that the wrongdoing actually isn't related to Trump or Russia, in that if it were related, this would really taint that investigation to go after the attorney-client records for Trump's attorney and Trump. So there's a lot that we need to find out, but this is a pretty aggressive move by the FBI, and there's a lot that we need to find out.
The attorney's attorney, Michael Cohen's attorney, has said that the Office of the Special Counsel actually was in possession of the information that led to the search warrants. What do you know about that?
Well, and if they had information and it's not related to the actual thing they're supposed to be investigating, which is treasonous collusion between Trump and Russia, maybe this was the proper way to go about it, to refer it to the proper FBI office and let them handle this, proper Department of Justice office and let them handle this.
Yeah.
But it is really unprecedented. I mean, when you think about how the FBI handled the investigation into Hillary Clinton, they let one of her political appointees call herself Hillary's attorney so that she could have privileged attorney-client communications.
That's absolutely right.
They gave her immunity, and they didn't even require anything in response. So that's a very different way of handling someone who was the target of a criminal investigation by the FBI versus this. So I think people have already been wondering, what is going on with this probe? Is there anything with Trump and treason and collusion? And if they don't have evidence, they're going to start thinking this person is acting way out beyond the boundaries of what is appropriate. And I think it's important, just so everyone can have confidence in the FBI, Department of Justice, and the special counsel, for everybody to be pretty clear about what they're doing here.
And there are a lot of agents who are still frustrated about the way the Hillary Clinton investigation played out. And we're gonna talk a little bit about Loretta Lynch later in the show and the interview that she gave to Lester Holt. But let's talk about the president a little bit, because I said last week that I think a lot of what we've heard from special counsel is a gift to the president. And I think if he is impeached, it will be a blessing for him politically.
Yeah, Americans seem to forget this rule that sometimes when you impeach someone, it just makes them more popular. But again, what we've had is, since the election, we've had this coordinated campaign of people alleging treasonous collusion with Russia. We have not had any evidence to support this charge, and yet it's been very disruptive to the administration. And I think that Trump has been coming out against this, in part because he's so frustrated by it. Now, is he always surrounded by the most ethical, wonderful people? No. So it's important for everybody to kind of keep their cool and understand precisely what the charges are, but also demand accountability from the special counsel and Department of Justice.
Well, I mean, that's what you want to see, and you don't want to see justice metered differently for different people. And that's part of the growing frustration. There have been a lot of people around the president who have said, don't talk about this, don't tweet about this, don't mention Bob Mueller by name, don't talk about the investigation, focus on the economy, push the tax cuts, talk about a trade war, anything but this. Obviously, this is much more personal for him. It's almost the same reaction he had when he heard that Steve Bannon had spoken on the record with an unfavorable biographer.
Well, he didn't like that, no. And I mean, imagine, though, what it would be like to be the target of an investigation. Trump says he knows there's no collusion with Russia. So far, we don't have any evidence of that. We do have a lot of evidence of wrongdoing at the FBI and Department of Justice, whether it was early on, even before or right at the beginning of the administration, the criminal leaking of information about Trump affiliates, all sorts of shenanigans, such as Andrew McCabe launching an investigation into Jeff Sessions for being a Russian spy. And that would have had to have been signed off by someone above Andrew McCabe. And everything we've found out about this probe into Trump suggests unevenness, two Americas there are, as John Edwards liked to say, where you're treated differently depending on your political views. That is something that really needs to be cleaned up. And it would be nice if Mueller, who leaks all these things about other issues going on, were also looking at what he has no doubt found about problems at the Department of Justice and FBI as well.
And how this Hillary Clinton email server investigation unfolded, how people were charged, and who was given immunity and why. Because I think you'll see the threshold between the FBI investigation and the special counsel investigation are vastly different. And that doesn't seem to be fair. And if there is a discrepancy, someone has to answer for that. I am worried that no one will ever have to answer for that. And people now just internalize and expect that in this hyper-politicized country of ours, that's just the reality from now on.
And this is very important. People understand, you might have totally different ideas about Donald Trump, thinking he's great, thinking he's awful. It's really important for everybody to have confidence in the FBI and Department of Justice. And just this week, we've had yet another piece of information that the Department of Justice and FBI are not even turning over to Congress a simple memo that explains how the probe into Trump and Russia began. That should be so simple to do. Just turn over that piece of paper. They're throwing up all sorts of roadblocks and doing everything in their power to keep from providing that. Why? And it would be good for everyone who cares about civil liberties and cares about rule of law, no matter what you think about Donald Trump, to care about the integrity of these agencies that do our law enforcement and intelligence
Absolutely.
operations.
To throw up all the FISA warrants and the memos and enough of the memos about the memos. Let's see the source material so we can make these decisions for ourselves. Mollie Hemingway, thank you so much.